Beautiful. Very gently. Perfect. Beautiful. Nice. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Nick Nelson here from Element Chiropractic, and we're here today with Jaclyn Baillie. So Jaclyn reached out to me not too long ago, and she wanted to come into the clinic. She was recently involved in a motor vehicle accident. So I'm going to let you talk to Jaclyn. She can tell you why she's here.
Hi everyone, I'm Jaclyn Baillie. So one of the reasons why I'm here is I've been in a couple car accidents over my lifespan, a couple bad ones. So and I'm a pretty active fitness person, so when something does happen to me, I need it kind of taken care of. So I got rear-ended this month, so my shoulder is really bothering me and my back. So I just reached out to Dr. Nick to help me with that, and I'm sure he will.
So we're going to go in and you're going to get a little bit of a background look today because this is the first time we've ever met. So we're going to go through the consultation portion and you're going to see a little bit of what we dive into and also the analysis here to make sure that we're looking at the right things. So here we go. Okay, so you said that you were in a rear end accident 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So you're going down a hill. Tell me about how hard you think you were hit.
Well, we were actually in a construction zone, so
okay.
We're all I was going probably about 30 or 40.
Okay.
But he completely smoked me. Yeah, the damage on my vehicle was extensive. So,
okay.
Yeah, I actually flew forward, and I was in shock, obviously.
Wow.
But yeah, my vehicle's still in the shop. It's been 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty extensive. Not written off though, luckily.
Yeah, not written off.
Okay.
Close to it, but.
So one thing with motor vehicle accidents is people tend to walk away from them often saying like, oh, I was in an accident, but it wasn't that big. Mm-hmm. They've actually shown that anything above 15 kilometers an hour causes permanent tissue damage in the neck.
Oh.
So even if you're like rolling in a parking lot and you get hit, it actually has tissue damage.
Oh, okay.
So going anything above that is typically one of those situations where you don't feel a lot from it, and then down the road, 6 months, 3 months, you're wondering why your back's so sore, and that's why we like to get you in as early as possible.
Okay, that makes sense.
So since then, have you noticed any sort of pain anywhere? I think you mentioned your shoulder, correct?
My shoulder is definitely the worst. Okay. My neck is pretty stiff, and then I've always had back pain just from my previous accident.
Okay.
But it's just been irritated.
Yeah.
So it's definitely just like a constant pain.
Yeah.
I also refuse to take Advil.
Perfect. I'm on board.
So I just kind of deal with it.
The back that you said has been hurting since previous, is that the lower back?
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that. When was that accident?
That accident was quite a few years ago, so that was probably like 8 years ago.
Okay.
I was turning left on a green light, like a turning signal.
Okay.
And then the car coming towards me ran a red light.
Oh, right.
So my vehicle actually completely like flipped in the air.
What?
And landed upside down.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was a pretty bad.
So you landed on the roof?
On the roof. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they had to like break the back window to get me out of the vehicle. Thankfully, obviously, I had my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
But and I was young.
Yeah.
8 years ago, I was 22 years old. So
yeah, you were spry. You couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the one that you had previously seen a chiropractor in Kelowna for, or did you not do any treatment for that one?
I did physio for that one.
Okay.
And then massage therapy. When I got into that accident. But I didn't probably take it as seriously as I should.
Yeah.
I was young, was working.
Yeah.
Just wanted to kind of...
Not let it slow you down?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the lower back, tell me a bit about what that kind of expresses itself. How does it bug you since then?
Definitely, like, I drive a lot.
Okay.
So I tend to have my seat, like, pretty much straight up.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's easily irritated.
Yeah.
But it's not like a pain that's going to stop me from running or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
just a pretty constant kind of like numb pain.
Okay.
I definitely experience it more on my right hand side
Okay.
since this accident. For whatever reason, my right hand side was more affected.
Okay.
With the rear end. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
But like neck, shoulder,
All the way down?
all the way down.
Okay. Do you remember if you're holding the steering wheel with just that hand?
It might have been.
Might have been?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there, coming through the shoulder and down into that leg, do you have any sort of actually tingling or numbness or pain that goes into either extremity?
Sometimes in my arm.
In your arm?
Yeah.
Do you know where it goes in your arm? Like, is it a pattern or is it your whole arm?
It just feels like sometimes it like just will go all the way down and like to my fingertips, and then it won't last like very long.
And it goes totally numb?
Not like totally numb.
Okay.
But like that tingly numb kind of sensation.
Okay.
But it's sometimes not even noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
What about training? When you're working out, is there anything like even just like dead hangs or lat pull downs that you notice exaggerate it?
When like any shoulder workout that I do, I just have to really decrease my weights.
Okay.
So I can't lift as nearly as heavy as I used to.
Yeah.
But I'm also being like cautious about my shoulder lately. But yeah, anything like that is, I'm still doing it. I don't know if I should be, but.
Hey, we don't want to slow you down.
But yeah, I definitely still am doing it, just lower.
Okay.
Lower weights.
And then into the leg, you said there was kind of some numbness around that region, around the SI joint, I'm thinking, but was there ever any numbness down your leg?
No,
No?
never down my leg, so
Okay,
never experienced that.
good. And I know you're quite healthy in your nutrition, so are you on any extra supplements, or I know you're probably not on too much medication or anything?
No, I'm not on any medication, and I actually I don't take any supplements.
Yeah.
Sometimes like a multivitamin, but that's
Yeah.
very rare. Yeah, I'm plant-based, so.
Yeah, good. Nutrition comes from eating, which is how it should be. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump onto the table there, and I'm going to have you actually show me what areas are bugging you,
Okay.
and then we're going to go through and kind of check them out.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to come in and check the ribs out here. You said it was the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but right away, do you notice this sinks in and this doesn't?
Yeah.
So this is actually your very first rib.
Okay.
So that is put superior currently, so it's actually sticking up, which I think is going to be what's getting involved with the nerve flow to your hand.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to check this. I'm just going to take your hand and take your pulse here. Just let your arm relax there. Good. So this is testing for what's called thoracic outlet syndrome. So we're going to take your arm this way and just let it relax fully for me. I want you to turn your head to the left and take a big breath in and hold it for me. Okay, you can let it out. Turn it to the right, big breath in and hold. Okay, and then straight forward. So pulse remained the same in both of those. That's checking the scalene muscles. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a slight amount of pressure here. And right there, pulse decreased significantly. So what we're doing there is we're compressing the clavicle to that first rib. So whenever this first rib is out of place, which is very common with motor vehicle accidents, it'll actually raise up. So whenever there's muscle tension or weight on this shoulder, the nerves that leave your neck, they reach into this bundle, they go over this rib, under the clavicle, down into your hand. So what's actually happening right now is this is being squished. Okay, so that's why when you do get that numbness, it's not the whole, or it's not a very distinct pattern. So if it was a spinal nerve injury, you would get something like directly just your thumb would be numb, or these two fingers would be numb. But having the whole hand start to get that tingliness tells me that the whole bundle is being affected.
Okay.
Okay, so good thing about that, we're going to be able to go through and adjust that rib easily. So we're just going to check your neck now. So just look straight forward for me. I'm just going to slightly move it. So notice how this does not bend very nice, and this falls super easy, right? So we have something on this left-hand side. We're going to trace it up and right there. Good. So I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but this moves really nice. We get here and it's almost like a wall. So when there's an injury to the neck, what actually happens is those vertebrae get stuck over top of each other, and one will rotate, and then when you go to bend, instead of it bending like a nice spiral staircase, it'll actually wedge itself. So what you're probably doing when you're shoulder checking and turning your head right now is using the rest of your neck to compensate. So your upper neck feels really good. There's a nice glide there, which is good because that's an important bone. Okay, so we're going to come down through the middle of the back. Okay, so right here is the vertebra that's associated with this rib, and I'm not sure if that's tender, but I can tell it's very stuck. Does that cause you any pain at all? A little bit?
I mean, it feels good when you're pushing on it.
Yeah, so these guys here, we can see there's just not much motion to the vertebra. So we're going to come down through this area. Good. Okay, so we're going to come down to your SI joints now, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to find these SI joints, and so right away, this right side is sitting lower by about a ½ inch. So what I'm going to have you do, Jaclyn, is just bend forward like you're going to touch the floor between your feet, okay? So did you guys notice how that right side raised up? Okay, come on back. And then it drops even further. So this is called a seated gelée technique. So what we're looking at is a fixation between the sacrum and the ilium on the right-hand side. So you're right, it is all your right-hand side. Usually where people feel it, sometimes it's the opposite side, but no, you are bang on. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you lie down on your tummy and we're gonna further assess that hip a bit, okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay, so we're just gonna scan everything first. All we're doing on this first bit is confirming all of the subluxated areas, and then we will be adjusting after. So yeah, so again, once we take the gravity off, then we can check the joint play itself. And we can see this side moves nice, this side feels just like the neck did. So it's all about the very small movements that we're looking at as chiropractors, because large movements, you can often have the rest of the body compensating. So when we bring these in, is there any tension in the lower back there? Yeah? Do you feel it more on the right or the left side? Here?
Right side.
Or here? Okay. It's right in that fixated spot. Okay, now because her neck is involved, we're going to check for a cervical syndrome. So I'm going to have you turn your head to the right for me. Good. And did you guys see this leg shortened? So now I'm going to have you turn your head to the left. And now this opposite leg is short. So what we're seeing there is we're having, you can go back to center, whatever is comfortable. So we're actually having a distortion pattern from that neck all the way down through the hips, through the spine, to the feet. Okay. Okay. So if you're ready to rock, we're going to go through and start adjusting, okay? Okay, so the very first one here, we're just going to relieve some of this upper back pressure. So I'm just going to have you take a breath in for me and all the way out. Beautiful. That sounded like it's built up for a while. Good. So a lot of release there. So we're going to come in. So we're actually just going to check the piriformis muscles, okay? So I just want you to tell me if this is causing any sort of extra pain into your hip. This side I don't think is going to be your worst, but it'll probably be tender. But I'm going to come to this side here, and I want you to tell me if this shoots any pain down your leg or any. It does shoot. So often when people come into the clinic and they tell me they have sciatica, it's actually a piriformis entrapment instead of a true sciatica. So we always check that when there is a pelvic involvement. And you can see there that right as soon as we pushed on it, some pain shot down. So this is the exact same as what's happening in the brachial plexus, but it's happening in the lower portion of the nerves. So we're going to adjust this sacrum now. I'm going to have you turn on your side with this side up. Good. comfy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, scoot your hips forward. Good. And just take this. Beautiful. Okay. So we're just going to find right there, very gently. Perfect. And then we're going to put you onto your back. I'm just going to lower the headpiece. There we go. Okay, so we got rid of the middle back tension and the pelvic tension. So I'm going to check the cervical syndrome again. So I'm going to have you turn your head to the right again. Good, and then to the left. Good. So still present with that, depending on the way her head turns, that opposite leg goes short. So go ahead and go to the center. So we're going to adjust the first ribs here, and it was actually the right-hand side. So I'm going to swing around this way. So this is going to be for that brachial plexus. I'm just going to come this way, just like that, and then pull back. Good, and then relax. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to check that neck now. So now that gravity is off, we can actually see some of this lower neck is a little stiff as well. We're going to get this first one on the left. Perfect. Okay. Last one here, this lower neck. Nice. Okay, still doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So now we're going to check that neck. I'm going to have you turn your head to the right for me. Good. This stayed the same, and we'll turn it to the left. And stayed the same. So what we were seeing there is the upper cervical on the left-hand side was causing the cervical syndrome, and then the lower cervical on the right. So we're just going to release these feet. Good. Okay, my dear, come on up.
Okay.
Awesome. So how was that?
Good?
It was okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so being involved in a motor vehicle accident, this is just the very first session. So we're going to be working with Jaclyn for a little while. Protocols depend on what the insurance company is going to send through, but likely we'll be seeing her every couple days for the next few weeks. So thank you for coming in and letting us do this on your very first visit.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so
Already feel a little bit better.
a little better,
Yeah.
a little lighter.
A little lighter.
Okay, awesome. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. Pretty strong. So that's what we did last time, where it actually totally shut off the pulse.
Oh, okay.
So that right away tells us that we've opened the canal and that nothing is blocking nerve or blood flow to that area.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool.
Sweet.
But with a motor vehicle accident, there's such a shock wave with that.
Yeah.
That's typically the distribution pattern that ends up injuring you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes
Cool.
sense.
How's it feeling right now?
Yeah. I
Weird.
mean, I feel a little less stiff.
So these are actually level now, so that's cool. So go ahead and tilt forward for me. And they move the same. All right, come on back. Beauty. So all three of those tests essentially tell us that after the adjustment, there can be some soreness in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on injured tissue, especially with the new recent injury. But the good thing about this is that regardless of feeling better, worse, or the same, which are all probable when we're dealing with injured tissue, we can see functionally that we've changed that area for the better. So any sort of residual tenderness that comes from the adjustment is essentially your body adapting to the fact that it's now shifting and a little bit more inflammation going to a spot that's already injured. So feeling better is the end goal. Very first adjustments, sometimes when we are working on injuries, can be a little tender.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But this is a way that we can objectively measure, regardless of any of that, that we did make a change and we made the correct change.
Okay.
Cool.
Sweet.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please be sure to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the channel below. There's much more content coming your way, and we appreciate the support so far. See you next time.